Popcore about automation and hyper-casual growth. Shortly about myself, I'm Yury, I work at Popcore. Prior to that, I used to work at Fiber, at Wuga for several years. I'm bringing 10 plus years experience in digital marketing, and I also looking for new things very often, therefore right now I'm working at Popcore. So, who is Popcore? I will show you a brief showcase of our top apps to give you some context of what kind of games we are producing. This is our Wrecking Ball game, then Folding Blocks, the first success, Connect the Pop, our first title that we got funded with, and then Sandwich, the biggest game so far in terms of scale, Clash of Blocks, recent release, and also Marvelous, a lovely marble game. If you like our games, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We do some social activities there. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What is UA manager activities in general? Right now, different companies have similar layout. One UA manager manages several channels or maybe several apps at the same time. And then if you want to scale your team, you just hire more managers, and that's how you increase the scale problem. And the complexity just increases over time. You try to solve complexity problem with more people, and that's actually not solving the complexity, you just increase it over time. What we do at Popcore until recent time, there was one manager managing the whole portfolio of Popcore games. Full-time UA manager was doing scaling, budgeting, and running all the campaigns at the same time. That changed recently as we started to hire more people just to have possibility of having more apps to grow. And let me tell you a brief story of how we were doing it until recent times. So at Popcore, to solve the problem of complexity, we try to automate things, to do most things in less time. And we break it down into two main topics, which is creatives and campaigns. So first topic, creative automation. As you all may know, creative in general process is infinite loop. So you come up with game idea, then your creative team, or in our case, our creative team produces video concept. In this stage, I'm talking only about video production. So we are very video heavy, therefore we mainly focus on video. After we produced video concept with our creative team, we want to run a test. But just imagine, we can produce up to 100 or 200 videos a week, and that is quite challenging to test all of these videos even on one platform. So here comes the handy automation script. Basically, we upload all of our video creatives onto Google Drive folder, from where the script will take them and upload through Facebook API on Facebook and create campaigns for me. What I need to do, just in the end of the day, I push the button to enable my campaigns. Overnight, we run a test. Next day, I arrive to the office, and I can get my results from my campaigns. The results of prominent creatives will be delivered to my Slack channel. From there, I can share the insights with the team, with the creative team or with the UA team, and we can discuss on the next steps. But also, when we have our lovely best performing creatives ready, we know this is the best creative and it's gonna work. We want to make it run across the board, right? And just doing it manually, it's so boring and tedious. So we sometimes use a script that can help us to do this. Basically, refreshing creatives on Facebook will take me just 10 minutes instead of 1 hour of doing it before. And also, we don't use any third party to manage our Facebook campaigns, just because we do this hacky approach that I will talk about later. So this is our creative automation. The next part is, just to show you, this is the list of creatives we usually test like on a weekly basis. And this is only for one game. So if we have, for example, 5 or 6 games, we may have like a long list of videos that we need to upload and test throughout the week. All right, campaigns optimization. Campaigns optimization has different layers. We focus on 3 of them. First to mention is, of course, before you do campaigns optimization, you need to kind of square out your dashboards. Like, you need to have your data in place. You know where to go and get it. Therefore, this is not the question of this presentation. In our case, we solve this problem with our MMP provider. We use Acquired to kind of to put all things in one dashboard, so we don't need to combine data from Facebook, from Wangle, or any other network. So we just have everything in one place. And also, this tool helps us to solve the first line item, which is running simple rules. To run simple rules, by running simple rules, we solve an important thing, keeping our campaigns fit. For example, if you want to scale UAC, we will create up to 100 campaigns per scaling title. Managing 100 campaigns is kind of not really very satisfying, and also takes a lot of time. Therefore, we apply rules on top of these campaigns so they kind of run aligned and don't cross the border in terms of spend, in terms of breaking our budget, and so on and so forth. So the simple rules are pretty straightforward, actually. If you have your retention metrics or ROAS metrics or any other you can come up with over or below certain threshold, then you do something. In our case, we do a notification. So we always up to date if certain list of campaigns are over the budget or they're not meeting our KPI criteria. A second step could be a little bit more complicated, but it's still within the same line item. We basically not only inform ourselves about campaign passing the threshold, but also if campaign meets certain criteria, for example, we have enough installs to make a decision, we will adjust our bids, or we will adjust daily caps. So our 100 campaigns running on UAC will always be up to date, and we make sure we always spend our budget, we always have the lowest bid possible, and we just kind of need to go there and to refresh creatives, basically. That's it. The second layer is campaign optimization. This is where we use the help of our data team. The idea was a lot of networks provide pretty simple access to their tools. Like some video networks have CSV campaign export, import. Facebook has CSV campaign export, import plus API access. So using these partners that allow this kind of automated access to their interface, we came up with the script. So we export campaign structure from these platforms, apply some learnings from our BI system, for example, bids or trending budgets or something like that. Then we group it by a criteria. For example, we have a list of 100 countries in one app. We applied new LTV modeling on top of that. And we create a new list of campaigns grouped by LTV. And then we upload everything back to the network. The grouping is done with a script. In the picture, it looks like that. Basically, this is the export from Facebook. I export my live campaigns. I have my new ads. For example, I want to refresh my ads. I have my new ads somewhere nearby. I have 2 files. One file consists of campaign structure. Another file has my top ads. A simple Python script will combine those 2 into one exit file that I will just upload to Facebook. That takes literally 10 minutes. The whole process, exporting plus importing. This is how we solve complexity problem at Popcore. So the results are, we were able to scale our sandwich game within 2 weeks. That reached #1 in 60 countries, and we reached #5 in 100 countries. We had more than 100 campaigns running at the same time during scale, and we were producing hundreds of creatives every week, and we were successfully testing them, not leaving anything behind. And that was just using a few simple scripts that we created in-house. So actually, what's the story about this automation in the end? It's not like we set it and forget it and nobody now works and we just go to drink coffee and maybe generate ideas for creative team. We also need to sit and adjust our scripts. We also need to sit and adjust our rules. Our benchmarks change. Therefore, we will need new rules or maybe new thresholds that we need to apply in our system. So we always keep our rules up to date by just going through them and checking on them. But this is a bit different work from what we were doing before. What's next? We want to be more efficient in what we are doing. So we are planning to add more science into decision making. We want to forecast our LTV. We want to predict our LTVs a little bit better rather than what we were doing before. We want to transit from hacky Python script to end product when more users can use this solution. Because right now, there is basically one person who came up with this idea or who worked with the development team to produce this kind of script can effectively operate using automation. But to teach another person who is out of context is quite challenging. Therefore, we should produce something that can have a unified interface and that can be used by anyone who we onboard into our team. So you solve your scalability problem. And also we want to go back to our creative testing procedure and improve our creative testing. Yeah, that's it from my side. If there is one key takeaway that you can get from this presentation is basically automation saves time. And if you save your time, you can do something better. You can level up yourself, you can do more interesting stuff, and also you kind of save time for your company, which is win-win in the end. Thanks for listening, and let me know if you have questions. Bye.